Rachel Storment is the worship pastor here at Destiny Church. You did an awesome job this morning. I was inspired by that and encouraged. Thank you for sharing your gifts with all the people who get to worship here. We're traveling California talking about opening up churches and doing it the right way, and also keeping the government out of that, because they've kind of had a heavy hand on this.
Yeah.
You've been seeing this firsthand from the stage. What are your thoughts on how churches should be facing this challenge from the government as far as unfair restrictions and saying how many people can meet? And they even put, the reason I want to talk to you, put a restriction on singing on Sundays.
Yeah. You know, I think it's interesting. As you kind of look at the churches, when this whole thing started to happen and we made the decision on Pentecost Sunday, May 31st, to open up, I assumed this was going to be a very unifying thing. All churches would think the same thing, that it's time to open. But I never thought the most controversial thing in my life would be my decision to continue to lead worship and continue to sing. So I think when you look at the inequity between Costco's packed, Target is packed. I'm a mom, I go to Target almost every single day just to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Target is packed, and it's 50-50 who's wearing masks, who's wearing them down below their face and who's just wearing them, and they're communicating with other people and drinking their Starbucks coffee, and then churches have continued to be shut down while liquor stores, marijuana stores, especially in the state of California, it's legal.
Yeah.
Marijuana stores and abortion clinics are packed. And so I just thought, you know what, this isn't just a disease we're afraid about. This is obviously a huge government overreach, and not just for Christians, people of all religious backgrounds and faiths. It's just seemed very, very interesting, and something that I never thought I would see in my lifetime. Like I said, I would never think that the most controversial decision I would make would be to lead worship. And especially when the parameters got put around the singing, I think that's when I really started to feel, okay, there's something different going on. It's not just people can't meet together because they're doing that in Costco. It's people can't worship together. People can't express their religious beliefs. They can't sing together. And if you're part of the Christian faith, you know that worship, or if you're Catholic, going to confession or saying the Lord's Prayer out loud, those things are huge staples of the Christian faith. Without those things, there is an incredible sense of feeling disconnected and feeling like you are disobeying what the Word of God says, which is forsake not the assembling together, as so many do in the last days. And that's what I feel like has been happening in the state of California, is so many people are saying, obey the government, but my question is, which government do you obey?
Well, and that puts you in an interesting category, because every time you step up on stage and grab a microphone and start singing, you're in defiance of the governor.
Right.
You little scofflaw. I mean, look at you.
And like I said, I've gotten a couple speeding tickets in my entire life, and other than that, I'm a law-abiding citizen, and this question of do I obey state government has never been a question for me. I've been a very privileged millennial who has grown up in a good household, and I never had to think about, wow, what do I think about what the Constitution actually says? What are my rights?
Yeah.
And what do I believe as a Christ follower in this season? Because really what's happening is you're seeing the juxtaposition between faith and religious liberty. For the first time, I think, ever in our nation, we're seeing those two things at a crossroads.
One of the things we're concerned about is that once government finds out that it can shut down churches, stop the singing, or at least make the attempt to, that it's going to be hard for them to let go of that newfound authority. Do you have the same concern?
I do. I think that I have never seen something taken away from the government and then given back. When taxes are raised,
they don't go down.
They don't lower. It's once you make a decree, once you make a law, once you say that something is happening, it's happening forever. Once you sign up on your iPhone or you go to Instagram, you are now going to be subject to basically Big Brother. And that doesn't go away. You can't just decide to become untraceable after being traced. And so I think that it opens Pandora's box. It's easy for people to say, well, this is just seasonal. I've never seen it to be seasonal. Once you get something taken away, it's very rarely ever moved back the other way.
Yeah. Thank you for making time for us. Anything else you want to share before I let you go?
I would just say to all millennials out there, it is very easy to get caught up in what is socially popular. But if you are a millennial and you are a Christian, you need to, for the first time maybe ever, really sit down and ask the hard questions. What do you really think? What do you really believe? Not what are people telling you, but what do you believe the Word of God says in this time? Because we're a part of a big revival moment right now, and we're going to miss it if we just listen to the loud voices in media.
Rachel Storment, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.